I'm going to be showing you how to weave on our large collaborative looms. A loom is this tool that we use for weaving. Right now we're ready to start a new color. So we used up all of the old color and we're going to add in the next color, which will be orange. It's really important to start off on the same side that you ended. So you can see from this little tail, that's where I ended. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on that side. I'm looking at where I ended and I'm noticing that the yarn is in front of the white line. So I wanna do the opposite on this side. I don't wanna put my needle in front of the white line. I wanna put my needle behind the white line. And then the next white line, the yarn is behind it. So I'm gonna do the opposite and put my needle in front. And then I'm just gonna keep repeating that pattern in front, behind, all the way across. It can be easy to just sort of push the line back that you don't need and then pull the line forward that you do. Especially when you get to the end, it can be harder to pull it through. Now that I've got my pattern done, I'm gonna pull my yarn all the way through. And since this is the beginning of a new color, I've got a lot of yarn to pull through. And then I'm just gonna leave a small tail at the end, like that. I want you to notice the way that I've pulled it through in an arch, so it's kind of a curve. That's gonna keep my yarn from tugging in at the sides. And I'll show you on this next one what can happen if you pull it too hard. Now I'm gonna go back the same way that I came. So I ended here, I'm gonna start in the same spot. I'm noticing that my orange is behind the white line, so I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna put my needle in front, and then I can repeat that pattern. And I'm pulling that yarn all the way through. And I want to show you what happens if you pull, instead of doing an arch like I'm supposed to, what would happen if I just pull on it? Do you see how this line right here, when I pull on it really hard, the end line gets pushed in? So all of a sudden, this is way out here and then this is pulled in tight. And that's not what we want. If you accidentally do that, you can just pull it back out, give it a little bit of looseness so that it's lined up with the other ends that are right there. I'm gonna show you a couple of things, what not to do. So let's say that I forget. Let's say I forget that I'm supposed to start on the same side that I finished. Let's say I'm over on this side, the opposite side from where I finished. And I'm doing it the right way. I've got this orange line is in front, so I'm gonna go behind, and I'm doing a pattern. When I pull that yarn through, I'm gonna end up with this weird loop hanging in front of my weaving. That loop is gonna make it look kind of messy. It's a waste of yarn. We don't want that loop there. So if you make that mistake, all you have to do to fix it is just go back the way that you came. So instead of doing the opposite with my needle, I'm gonna have this needle go exactly where that last bit of orange yarn is. And if you try it and it's not working, you can just come get your teacher and I can help you figure it out. And then that's gonna undo it. The other thing I wanna show you what not to do is I wanna show you what will happen if you don't do the opposite when you're starting the next line. So let's say what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to notice that this yarn is in front of the white line and I'm supposed to go behind the white line. That would be the correct way to start the next row. But let's say I forget, I'm distracted or I get confused, and let's say I just do the exact same thing. So I'm going in front, behind, in front, just like the yarn that I just did. When I pull that through, it's gonna undo my work. that I had just finished. So it's gonna end up shorter. If I make that mistake, I just notice it, and then I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna reweave this. So this one should go on top, which means the next one, see that? The one below it is on top of the white line. So the next thing I'm gonna do is go behind that one and then on top. So if I reweave, I can fix that row, and then I would be able to start again. And this time I'd pay really close attention. I would notice that my orange line is on top of my white line. So I need to do the opposite. I need to go behind the white line. This one, the next one, the orange line is behind the white line. So I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna go in front of the white line, and then I'm gonna repeat that pattern. And that'll get me back on track. If you ever have something happen while you're weaving that confuses you or surprises you, or you're not sure how to fix a mistake that you made, always come and get me. I can help you figure it out. The wonderful thing about weaving is that you can always take the yarn out and start again, right? It is the thing that makes weaving so special. When you're painting a painting, once you put paint down on that paper, it's there. There's not a way to take it off, right? But with weaving, you can always undo what you've done, and you can use that yarn again. So mistakes are really easy to fix, and don't stress out if something goes a little weird. We can always figure it out. Have fun weaving. I wanted to show you an example of why it's so important that when you're weaving, you pull that thread through in a curve and then comb it down instead of just pulling it through straight. This weaving is one where we did not pull it in a curve, we just pulled it through straight. And you can see the way that it started out wide at the bottom, the way it's supposed to, and then as we pulled tighter and tighter and tighter, it got more and more narrow. And the white lines on the ends are getting squished together, which makes it hard to weave through them. Also, it just means that we don't have, when we finish it, we're not gonna have a beautiful rectangle. It's gonna be kind of wiggly and squished in the middle. So it seems like a really small thing to just pull it in a curve instead of pull it in a straight line, but that small choice will make a big difference.